It's the last part of this New York vlog series and y'all know the drill. This time, we're trying 4 different seafood-centric restaurants in New York and finding our favorite ocean critters to crunch on. There's no time to waste. Let's get started. Mother Nature seemed to get the memo about our aquatic food journey, cause it started pouring buckets outside. It was raining sideways, and I felt like I was on the latest episode of The Deadliest Catch braving the stormy seas. But we finally made it to Los Mariscos in Chelsea. From the people behind Los Tacos No. 1, Los Mariscos is their seafood cousin with 4 main things on the menu: tacos, ceviches, seafood cocktail, and aguachile. First things first, I started off with a michelada. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of beer because of the bitterness, but mix it with some lime juice and a salt rim and my attention span is short enough to be distracted by the sour and salty flavors. Now, onto the taco of the town, tacos. The first is the fish taco, with a hunk of crispy fried fish balanced by fresh, crunchy cabbage and salsa to zing it up. The filling to shell ratio was literally jaw-dropping because I had to unhinge my mouth like a snake to fit in a bite. Next is its crustacean cousin, the shrimp taco. As opposed to a huge piece of flaky fish, the shrimp was like little nuggets of goodness that released flavor explosions. Just as delicious, and it left us too soon after 3 bites. After finishing the tacos, I looked up to eye my next victim in front of me. This is the especial ceviche with octopus, shrimp, clams, and scallops. Everything sat on a tostada that retained its crunchy, crispy integrity despite soaking in the lime and seafood juices. This ceviche was truly worthy of a BAFTA. Bright, acidic, fresh, tasty, and addictive. That's what BAFTA awards are for, right? I actually also wanted to try the scallop aguachile, but it's meant for 2 and comes in a huge stone bowl. I considered taking it to go, but I wasn't going to be back for a couple hours and the server advised against it to be safe, which probably saved me from a bathroom bowel brawl later on, so I'm thankful for that. Instead, I got a couple tacos and chips and guac to share, and now it's time to go back out and brave the rain. We're heading over to the West Village for seafood stop number 2, Quique Crudo, a Mexican seafood small plates place. Everything inside was packed, from the patrons to the staff to the sounds. The constant noise of cocktails shaking, dishware clinking, and conversations blaring filled the air, creating a symphony of white noise. First, something fresh, a crab tostada marinated in citrus topped with avocado, serrano, cilantro, and tomato. The chip on the bottom was deadly crispy. If not bitten properly, this chip can easily slice open a gash in your mouth that would be promptly flooded by the stinging citrus marinade. This chip was actually shaped into throwing stars and used by ninjas in feudal Japan. What's nice about this is that it takes out all the manual labor associated with crabs and you get to focus just on eating. Now moving on from crustaceans to bivalves. This is the razor clam aguachile, with as many shades of green as Alphaba's makeup kit. Cucumber, lime, chili serrano, cilantro, and avocado. The razor clams look like little slices of garlic, and everything sat conveniently on the shell to slide right into your mouth. It's like a shellfish luge, and all you have to do is open your mouth. I will admit some of the razor clams in the middle were hard to reach, and I had to decide between pushing the clams along or swallowing half the shell. Quick side note, since the restaurant space was so tight, every time I looked up, I made direct eye contact with the bartenders, which felt a tad intimate, so I decided to stare at the lobster chilling on ice instead. It's back-to-back bivalves, and this time it's a seared scallop with house-made chorizo, potatoes, and cashews, their take on a surf and turf. Despite all the noise and hubbub in the restaurant, once that scallop hit the plancha, you could hear it from across the room. Nice sear on the outside with a bouncy firm texture inside. The dual-colored sauces were chipotle aioli and salsa verde, and I knew I should have brought my brushes and canvases to do some painting with it. I guess a potato and a plate are going to have to do in the meantime. Don't worry, there was no seafood in this ice cream. It was house-made with mascarpone and cream cheese, and drizzled with lemon juice, olive oil, and honey with toasted pumpkin seeds. Eating this was like eating a frozen block of cream cheese, and any word you can think of to describe desserts applied to it. Creamy, decadent, tangy, crunchy, luscious. Somebody get me a dictionary because I'm running out of adjectives. It's the type of dessert that makes you feel guilty just thinking about it, especially when you don't have to share it with anyone. I was in denial at the end and desperately scraped the plate to find some frozen remnants only to come to terms with the reality that it was all gone. Our next stop is Penny, a seafood counter and wine bar in the East Village. They have an extensively curated wine menu, but my palate is not nearly refined enough to drink Forsaken grape juice, so I think we're going to focus on the sea bugs instead. First off is the brioche, with butter topped with flaky salt and Cantabrian anchovies. So soft that pinching it was like squeezing air, and I considered ordering an extra to use as a pillow. Cholesterol and sodium levels be damned, I heaped on the butter and anchovies and took a greedy bite. Next to the brioche is the star of the show, nay, the star of the trip, the icebox. The classy alternative to a seafood tower. This was a seafood extravaganza, complete with seasonal crudo, mussels escabeche, countneck clams, oysters, and shrimp cocktail, alongside a trio of sauces. The black bass crudo had pickled shallots and shaved horseradish, and the scallop shell it was served on was pretty. I love any food that has a built-in handle, and for that, the shrimp cocktail was the best of the box. Its tail came in handy for dipping it in the cocktail sauce and garlic aioli, which highlighted the natural sweetness of the shrimp and its succulence. The oyster was a fresh taste of the sea and glimmered gorgeously under the table light. It was shucked expertly and slid frictionlessly right off the shell. I thought I saw the ocean after taking a bite. I feel like clams are often the underappreciated cousins of oysters, but with a dab of aioli, these are just as delectable with a slightly firmer texture. And last in the box were some of the largest mussels I've had, though that's not saying much since I've never hit the gym a day in my life. After graduating from the raw seafood, it's time to turn up the heat and try the cooked goods. First up is the stuffed squid. The crispy legs were the best part, and it looked like aquatic fireworks or the face huggers from Alien. It was stuffed with tuna and Swiss chard and had gone swimming in harissa oil. And finally, steamed clams with smoked potatoes and croutons. The clams were literally bursting with flavor and spurted juice with each bite, but the potatoes seemed to have experienced a recent heartbreak and were broken up and a touch salty. Since I have a strict no vegetable policy, the basil leaves were banished to the side, along with the clamshell carcasses. My favorite part of steamed clams is always the extra broth at the bottom, and the croutons were perfect for soaking it all up. And of course, dessert. Typically, I'd feel betrayed if my ice cream sandwich came without cookies, but the brioche was so good it deserved an encore. Stuck in between was corn ice cream, blueberry jam, and honeycomb for a good crunch. Truthfully, bread and ice cream might be an underutilized combo, and I'm going to try this back home. Though it cost a pretty penny was worth most my pennies and fun to try at least once. If I came back though, I'd probably chill with just the icebox. It's been a blast, but on to the last. This is Dame, and they don't do things half-assed. A cozy little English seafood restaurant in Greenwich Village, Dame is our final stop on this New York City journey. Since it's an English restaurant, we tried an English cocktail, a proper Pim's cup. Twirling the glass around for a quick fit check revealed a vintage mint sprig from Uniqlo and a boxy cropped cucumber garnish from Buck Mason. Fruity, refreshing, and perfect for summer. Starting off cute and simple was a grilled oyster, a nice change of pace from the raw seafood before, and the hollandaise helped the oyster slide right down the gullet. Following that is the squid and scallion skewers, which were grilled on the plancha then doused in a generous helping of parsley oil. Cheersing the skewers made me feel like swashbuckling pirates, and we had just pulled these out from the ocean. This was my favorite dish here, though it needed a pinch of salt for my taste. We should have gotten some bread to mop up the oil spill, but I suppose licking the plate will have to do in a pinch. Continuing with a mollusk theme is a cucumber salad with smoked mussels and dill. The cucumber mountains dwarfed the mussels sitting in a sea of mussel emulsion with dill oil, and included a sprinkling of grated horseradish on top. The smoked mussels had a nice briny and meaty flavor, but I prefer my mussels with anger management issues. Steamed, that is. Now for the last plate of this trip, the tuna tartare with batarga on toast. The tuna was pretty and looked like little fish rubies and jewels that shimmered in the light. This toast was dangerous, and not in the addictive food sort of way. It was physically dangerous. Watching back, I still recall as the knife saws into the toast, and I'm surprised we didn't add our own fingers to the tartare. I like my bread crusty, but the roof of my mouth still has battle scars from this dish. Dame was a cute little cozy restaurant perfect for a night out, and after saying ta-ta and cheerio, it was back outside we go. Here we are, 14 seafood dishes, 2 desserts, and 2 drinks later. There's so much variety with seafood, and after casting as wide of a net as we could, here were my favorites of the trip. For a special celebration, the icebox from Penny is hard to beat. Everything was simple, crisp, fresh, and clean. But the place I would actually go back to eat most often would be Los Mariscos for the fish tacos. It's everything you want in a singular bite of food. Soft tortilla, crispy fish, fresh lettuce, zesty salsa. You've heard the spiel already, but it bears repeating. Truth be told, however, my favorite dish from this video would probably be the cream cheese ice cream from Quique Crudo. Truly a testament of how good it was, winning top spot in a seafood tour, or maybe just further evidence of my sweet tooth. And with that, this concludes my New York trip. It's been a fun journey studying all the coffee, bakeries, and food, and it's been frustrating to look through the footage and wanting to lick my screen to retaste everything. Thank you sincerely for coming along, and we'll be back next time for more adventures with a slightly different vlog style that I'm testing out. But for now, it's time to head home and sleep off the food and calories, cause that's how it works, right? Peace out.